short presentation on White Lotus Tantra as organized and presented by Sohei International, a healing arts organization created for the preservation and for the sharing of the healing arts modalities of yoga, tai chi, qigong, tantra, various martial arts, and healing arts modalities. Please visit us at www.soheyweb.com. Some people have asked what White Lotus Tantra is, or what sets White Lotus Tantra apart from some of the other tantric systems around the world. White Lotus Tantra, we believe that, Tantra is connection to the soul, whether it's connecting to your own soul, connecting to another's soul, connecting to God. And the exercises and practices that we do are all about amplifying that connection and getting deeper and deeper into that connection with yourself as well as another person and, of course, to God or Allah, Buddha, whatever it is you particularly believe in. In our system, the White Lotus Tantra system, there's White Tantra and Red Tantra, as in most tantric systems. And many systems, in fact, most every one that I have done research and studied, they believe that Red Tantra is a higher system, and as you may or may not know, Red Tantra generally has to do with the sexual connection and the sexual act, as opposed to White Tantra being more basic energetic connection. We believe that that's kind of backwards, and that White Tantra, while we teach that first, it's also the higher level. It's more important. And we do teach several levels of White Tantra first, and really get a basis of connection to your own soul and to be able to connect to the soul of another person before we ever take it to the red levels, where you connect to another person's soul and have that affect you in a wonderful and blissful sexual connection. And then you go back and do more work with the White Tantra and redevelop a deeper connection still using the white and spiritual connection. And then you can go back to the red and maybe learn more technique and so forth, and different connections of chakras and things like that. But one of the real basis for the White Lotus Tantra is the belief and the understanding and the real depth of practice of the White Tantra, the connection to the soul. Now, one of the foundational elements of learning White Lotus Tantra is the understanding of chi, or prana, or bioelectromagnetic energy. And it's the life force, or as Luke Skywalker would say, the force. Force be with you. And it is what animates us, what keeps us alive. Some people believe, and I believe as well, that it is God, that it is love, that these things are all synonyms, if you will. And so we do work on a lot of energy collection, developing your chi, and growing your abilities with chi in order to better connect with your own soul and to the soul of another person. Therefore, it does inextricably help with your tantric exercises. So the better that you can manipulate and use your own chi, the better you can connect to your own soul, and the better you can connect to another person's soul, and therefore your tantric exercises obviously become deeper and deeper. So, as we spoke about chi and internal energy, one of the exercises, one of the very first exercises we like to do is help people learn how to create what we call a chi ball in order to play with and manipulate it and actually feel the chi. One of the easiest ways to do that is to feel it between the hands. So we're going to do a short exercise. Feel free to stand up and do this along with me as you're doing it, or just watch, if you will, and see if you can kind of get the understanding of what we're doing. But I'm going to start with just kind of cleansing myself. I'm going to stand in a natural posture with the knees bent and allow myself to be in a good relaxed state and allow the energy to flow. And I'm going to focus for a moment on my dantian, or hara, my center, about 2 inches below the navel and a little bit inside. And that's the center of your being and center of your energetic body. So I'm going to focus there and allow my mind to put attention there, and therefore energy will then actually begin to collect there. Already does. That's kind of like the main storage place of chi in the body. But when you put your mind on a certain place, energy does tend to go there as well. So the energy collects there. And then what I'm going to do is going to mindfully just take this and bring the energy up the center line, out the arms, and down the arms into the palms. Do a little bit of rubbing just to get the hands warm and to draw energy again. Where there's movement and motion and friction, there's going to be a drawing of energy there. So I put my palms together. Again, I'm thinking about lifting the energy from the dantian up the center of the body, spread down the arms to the palms, where they now will, the energy will well in the palms between the hands. And then I'm going to just slowly bring my hands apart, very slowly, and feel the pressure, heat, resistance, vibration between the hands. And now my hands are only about apart, maybe the size like as if I was holding a golf ball, and definitely feeling that vibration, the heat, the resistance, the pressure from one hand to another. Slowly, by like believing that my hands are within the ball, like on the outer edges of the ball, I'm not necessarily holding the ball of chi, but I am part of it. I slowly open my hands further and further apart, and the chi ball grows with me. And as you practice this more and more, you can get the balls of chi to be quite large. We make them so that they're as wide as our ends can go, and even bigger than that. But for right now, if we develop this and just develop this and develop it and make it bigger and bigger, and then we can actually start to play with it a little bit. And you can feel the resistance. I can still feel that between my hands as you develop this softball maybe size, maybe a little bigger, go to a little bit bigger, a volleyball, or even out to basketball size chi ball. I can feel that pressure between the hands. I can expand it a little bit more. And now you actually get the sensation, that pressure and resistance. You have a sense of what chi can feel like and what we can do with it from here. It's a very healing exercise as well. It's very peaceful to expand. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reabsorb that chi back into myself. I don't want to let it just go to waste. I'll have to replace it. So I'll just take it, bring it back in, bring the palms together, and settle it back down to the dantian or hara. Next, we're going to move on to actually showing how to use that chi in a somewhat useful way, maybe not necessarily so much for connection to soul or connection to another person, but connection to the earth. And we'll show you that in just a moment. And now I'll demonstrate one random but practical application of the understanding and use of chi. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect myself to the earth using the center of my feet. There's actual chakra or energy vortex there between the pads of the foot and the ball of the foot. And I'm going to root down, literally think about growing roots down into the center of the earth. Again, I'm going to allow my pelvis to rock forward, the knees to bend, and just relax myself like I'm sitting down on a stool, and just connect and visualize those roots growing down and out and spreading all throughout the center of the earth, and really connect to the earth. What you'll find if you try this exercise is that you literally do root to the earth. Yeah, maybe you don't grow physical roots, but you grow your energetic roots. And what's really cool about that is, as you can see with demonstration with a partner, there's a huge difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my partner here, co-founder of Sohei International, Mr. Christopher Bashaw, come in, and we're going to do this little exercise. First, I'm going to uplift my roots. I'm going to cut those off, so to speak, and allow myself to just stand here on the earth. And Chris is going to give me a little bit of a push, and hopefully not too hard into the wall, and see how much resistance it takes to uproot me, so to speak, to make me move and stumble, and maybe even push. You can push towards the wall if you want. You can see that it doesn't take a lot. I'll even resist now using muscles. So have him try to push me over, trying not to go up. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, he's going to give me just a few seconds to grow those roots. Center and sync myself and allow myself to connect down deep, deep into the earth. And then he'll begin to manipulate. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the force that he's coming, and if you even slow motion push on me, Chris, I'm going to take this force and bring it, instead of just bringing it in and allowing it to push me in the direction he's trying to push, I'm going to absorb it and send it down into the earth. So as he begins to push on here, I'm taking it and rooting down. He can push ever harder and harder and harder and harder and harder, and all I'm doing is being pushed into the earth instead of over. So that's taking his energy, his chi, blending it with my own, and taking it and rooting it down to the earth. So a little bit of a practical application for manipulation of energy, especially forceful application or energy coming into me, and how I can manipulate that a little bit. So thank you, Chris, for helping me out. So again, that's just a little rooting drill. Feel free to grab a partner at some point and give it a try where you just stand on the earth, have somebody push you, and in multiple directions, especially the side to side. You can really feel a difference there. And then visualize really relaxing, settling, rooting, growing your roots down deep into the earth, and then have them try to push. And you just focus on taking their incoming force and energy and sending it down, sending it down, sending it down. And you'll find that you really are uprooted. You are down-rooted. It's a pretty amazing feeling. Okay, here's a simple White Tantra exercise that you feel free to follow along at home. Give this a try, and you may find that you really enjoy this. And if so, feel free to play it over and over again and allow yourself to really reap some of the benefits of these. These exercises are very, very powerful. You'll find that the more you do them, the deeper that you get with them, and the more benefit that you have as you do them. So I want you to either lie down or sit in a nice relaxed position and just kind of slow your breathing down and allow yourself to relax. So I'm going to take you through like a guided meditation. So go ahead and relax yourself and just listen to my voice. You don't actually have to watch what I'm doing. I know it's a video, but in this case, just need my voice. So feel free to close your eyes and just listen along and follow my words instead of what you see on screen. So we're going to close our eyes, take a few deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with your eyes closed, I want you to try to picture yourself seated in a field. It's a late spring day. It's nice and warm. The sun is out. There's a little bit of a breeze that you can feel on your face. It's comfortable. You're not terribly far from civilization, but you're far enough where you can't hear it. So you feel safe and yet alone enough to enjoy. As you sit there in the field, you're deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And you're just connecting. Maybe you're doing rooting, like the exercise we did standing, only you're doing it in a seated position and just connecting to the earth. And then you make a decision that you want to explore a little bit. So you rise from your seated position in the field and you begin to walk along through the field, feeling the grass as it licks at your ankles, and noticing what you have on your feet for shoes, if anything, and what the ground feels like as you walk. Notice that now. You continue to walk along and you approach the edge of a tree line. And you pause for just a moment and step into the woods that are a little bit darker. Not scary, but it's interesting. There's a lot to see, there's a lot to feel, there's a lot to hear in the woods. I want you to listen for all the sounds. Maybe you hear birds, maybe you hear the wind in the trees. Notice how the feel of the earth changes a little bit. Maybe it gets a little cooler out to the touch. Instead of the grass licking your ankles, maybe it's just hard ground, and maybe some brush or whatnot. Look around, notice what you see, what kinds of trees, what the thickness is of the bushes or trees that you're walking through. That's something. catches your eye out of the corner of the eye, and you look and there's nothing to see. That was interesting. It was intriguing. You continue to walk along and notice what you're seeing through the woods, and there it is again, only it's on the other side. You can't really make out what it is. You saw something move. You kind of wonder, geez, there's an animal? Is it another person? What could that be? And you don't give it much thought again, and continue walking along and noticing, maybe looking up for a little while at the sky through the trees and noticing and enjoying the color green of the trees with the backdrop of the blue of the sky and the white of the clouds. The sun kind of streaming in through. Oh, and there you catch it again. Something moved in the corner of your eye. This time you got a little bit more of a glimpse of what it was, and felt like it was kind of human form. But it was moving really fast, like you've never seen a human being move before. It's really interesting. Now you're kind of keeping an eye out for it. You're watching for it. It's definitely something. You've seen it 3 times now in the corner of your eye. And it's then that you hear some rustling in the bush ahead to the right. And you continue to walk forward and sort of approach it and look from behind a tree, and a wispy, hazy, humanesque form steps out from behind the bush. And you can see it from around the tree, almost using the tree as protection because you're a little nervous what this is. And you see the humanesque type form, very wispy and hazy. And you realize that it's kind of just flesh colored. There's no real clothing, but you can't see details. And it's timidly approaching you. You feel safe. So you step out from behind the tree and you approach it as well. And as you get closer, you realize as you observe and move toward it that it moves with you. You raise a hand as if to wave, and it raises a hand too. You find that interesting. It was kind of mirroring you, so you move a foot and it moves a foot as well. You reach out a hand as if to shake, and it does as well. Now you're getting close enough to almost touch. And you look more closely at the face, which is still pretty wispy. The outline is hard to tell, but you can absolutely and definitely make out your own face. And you realize that this is some piece of you, some part of your soul. And you're getting a chance to finally meet in the safety of this area. You smile and it smiles back. You make a face and it makes a face back. And you decide it's time to see what this thing feels like. So you reach out your right hand and extend, and of course, in mirroring, it does the same until your palms touch. And a little bit of a whirlwind goes through you when that happens. So you hold up your left hand and it mirrors, and you make a connection of both palms. And you begin to look in each other's eyes and connect. And you bend your knees enough so that your knees, when its knees are bent, are able to connect as well. So now you're touching at the knees, the palms, and your eyes. And you share this connection with your own self, your own soul. And just feel. Feel what you would feel with this happening. Don't make any judgments. Don't allow too many thoughts. I want you to exist with it. I want you to be with it. We spend our lives wanting to do. In this case, we need to just be, exist, enjoy, connect, appreciate, love. Hold this connection for a while, but time begins to pass, and I don't know how long the time goes. It may be different every time you do the exercise. You may have different things happen while you're in connection with this soul. But you realize time does pass and you have some responsibilities to attend. And so you smile, and of course your soul smiles back, and you begin the disconnection. You straighten your legs so the knees disconnect. You drop one hand and then the other, still holding the gaze of the eyes for a moment, and smiling. And then you drop your gaze for a moment to look at the earth, and you bring your head back up, and it's gone. But you still have that feeling of connection, that warmth, that peace, knowing you got to know you a little bit more deeply. And you begin your walk back through the woods towards the field with a smile on your face and a lightness in your step. Till you reach the edge of the field and you pause and you sigh, a good sigh, and you step back into the field and come back to where you are here and now, either seated or lying down. Take a few deep cleansing breaths. Allow yourself to open your eyes, reorient to where you are. Thanks for taking the journey with us, for experiencing a little bit of a White Tantra exercise connecting to the soul. Within the White Lotus Tantra system, we teach 3 levels of White Tantra, followed by 2 levels of Red Tantra. And the exercise that we just went through would be a level 1 type exercise, just to get you in the idea of connecting to the soul. And of course it gets deeper and more intricate and some really powerful connective exercises. So I invite you to consider attending one of our level 1 seminars. It's a 4-hour level 1 training, and we have a good number of certified instructors for the level 1 within White Lotus Tantra system. You can see on our website, which you should see below and throughout this video. So there's also you also have the capability of hosting us in to do a training for level 1. If you possibly live in an area that doesn't have a certified instructor near you, we have we do fly around the country teaching the level 1, or also possibly a level 1 through 3 intensive weekend, which is a full 2-day course leading people through all 3 levels of the White Lotus Tantra White Tantra system. So certainly you can go to the website listed below, or contact us at tantra@soheyweb.com, tantra@soheiweb.com, tantra@soheyweb.com. And email us and just let us know where in the country you're at, and if you would like to either attend a level 1 or a level 1 through 3 intensive, or possibly even host us in to do a seminar for you there. So thank you for watching the video, and I hope to hear from you soon.